Riding to Sikkim? Let's talk about it. Today we'll talk about 1. When to go. 2. What documents to carry. 3. What are the places to visit. A little bit of more details about the places. And finally I'll tell you a story. So 1. When to go. Depends on what kind of a person you are. If you are a touristy person who likes a lot of colorful things, then you should go during March or April. It's the springs. Especially the Yumthang Valley, the Valley of Flowers, is completely covered with rhododendron flowers. And it is an absolutely beautiful sight. The downside is there will be a lot of tourists and everything will be expensive and places to stay would be a difficult thing, would be difficult to find. If you are like me, then and like the winters a lot and like to, ride in the snow, then you should go either in October or in February. You can also go during November and December, but there is just too much snow and Gurudongmar lake would be closed and you'll not be able to visit it. October and February, it's the right kind of cold. There's not a lot of tourists. All the places are open. Now, what places should you visit? So, the places to visit, most important places, Gangtok, obviously, that's going to be your base. Close to Gangtok is the Rumtek Monastery. There is also Ravang. Then you have Lachen and Gurudongmar Lake, Lachung and 0 Point, and then you have Nathula Pass, Zuluk and Kalimpong. If you've covered this much, you've seen the most beautiful places of Sikkim. Now a little bit of detail. Rumtek Monastery, there are 2 Rumtek Monasteries, mind you, very few people know about it. One is the Rumtek Monastery that has been created for tourists. It's all fancy and everything, but it's only for show. There's another Rumtek Monastery which is the real monastery where the prayers even happen today. Don't forget to miss that one. The monks are very welcoming, but very few people know about it, so there won't be a lot of tourists. Do take a look at that. Ravang. In Ravang, the route itself is absolutely beautiful. No matter which angle you take a photograph from, you'll find it that photographs have come really well. But there is also a Buddha park there. There's a huge Buddha statue and everything. You can go and visit if you are a touristy kind of a person. And then comes Lachen, Gurudongmar Lake, Lachung and 0 Point. Now all this you have to do in one go. The reason is they are in far off places and there are no petrol pumps there. So the last petrol pump that you will find in on your way to Lachen is Mangan. There's a place called Mangan and I'll write the name in the description. You have to fill up your tank with petrol especially if you're riding a larger motorcycle like a 400 or a 500 cc. Full tank and probably carry with you 5 or 8 liters of petrol. Go to Lacheng. From Lachen you'll have to stay the night, wake up really early in the morning like 3:30 or 4 o'clock and then go to Gurudongmar Lake. Come back, go to Lachung, stay the night, go to 0 Point and then come back. Now the roads from Mangan to Lachen are horrible, were horrible at that point in time, and landslides keep happening, so the roads conditions, they rebuild the roads but they break anyway. But from Lachen to Gurudongmar Lake, absolutely horrible roads, although not very life threatening because they are wide roads and very few places where there is a cliff down and you might fall and die, but horrible roads really. I've seen worse roads in Nepal. It's 18,000 feet above sea level, so you will be ascending 18,000 feet on the same day. You'll be ascending 9,000 feet on the same day and descending about 15,000 feet and then reascending to Lachung about 6,000-7,000 feet. So it's quite an ordeal and people faint and everything if they're not extremely healthy. So it would be a good idea to prep yourself a little bit before you go to Sikkim, do some cardio exercises or what have you. Once you reach Lachung, from there next stop is 0 Point. You usually leave early in the morning to 0 Point. There is a hot water spring on the way, so you can go there. One thing to remember is when you are going to 0 Point, carry with yourself bread and butter because there's nothing much to eat out there. But on your way down or even up there, if you give your bread to those small shops that are there and they are aware of this, they'll make you a bread omelette. Okay. And that will be the best damn bread omelette that you've ever eaten in your life. In that weather, in that environment, they'll basically make the bread and the omelette in your butter and it's just amazing. Not the healthiest meal, but extremely tasty. Then you come back, refill your petrol in Mangan and come back to Gangtok. Next stop is Nathula Pass. Um, um, there's nothing much in Nathula Pass. It's a very touristy kind of place. There'll be hordes of people out there. So even in October or November, because people very easily go to Nathula Pass. Not a lot of people go to Gurudongmar. I don't know about the roads, and I don't know if people go now. But back when I went 2 years ago, not much of a crowd. From Nathula Pass, don't come back to Gangtok. You have two ways to come back then. You can either come back to Gangtok and then come back to, Rangpo, Siliguri, or you can come back via Zuluk. Now, Zuluk is if you search for Zuluk on, Google or Bing, you'll see images of the zigzag road that's coming down the mountains. And it's an absolutely amazing experience, especially if you're riding. Because you are above the clouds and then you are riding zigzag through the clouds. Amazing, beautiful photo opportunity. So come back via Zuluk, although the roads are horrible on your way back to Zuluk. So I was not a very experienced rider when I went to Sikkim, so I could not make it past Rangpo. Rangpo is the border town between Sikkim and West Bengal. I stayed the night at Rangpo. If you are an excellent rider and can ride faster than I could, you can go all the way till Kalimpong probably, and then visit Kalimpong. Unfortunately, I missed Kalimpong because I was riding to Banaras. I had a friend's brother's birthday, and I decided to give him a surprise. So I rode all the way till Bihar and stayed the night in Bihar, and then went to Banaras and I stayed there for a couple of days, enjoyed the wedding and everything. Before I end the video, I'll tell you a story. So when I went to Gurudongmar Lake, I saw there was a Pulsar motorcycle with the number 786. That's why I kept seeing it, and he overtook me. I overtook him a couple of times, and we were back and forth a bit. And then then nothing much happened. I came down to Lachen and I had a headache, and so I took a Dispirin and went off to sleep and woke up, and then the same day so I came back by noon, had a Dispirin, took my lunch, and then started riding towards Lachung. I wanted to get to Lachung before nightfall. So it was a tough ride because I had ridden all the way till Lachen, stayed the night, went to Gurudongmar 9,000 feet above sea level, came down 9,000 feet sea level, came down and then went back up 6,000 feet to Lachung. And it was, dark now because it's dark early there, about 5 o'clock or so, it's sundown. So it was dark, and, I wanted to take a stop, and I was looking for a tea stall, but I couldn't find one. So, so after about 50 or so kilometers looking for a tea stall, I got tired, and I saw a red light flare up in the dark. Okay, and it was complete darkness. No street lights, not a highway, it's the side of the mountain. So I decided somebody's smoking, I'll take a stop with them, probably have a chat, it'll wake me up a little bit. So I stopped, and the same guy who was on the 786 motorcycle with his friend was smoking a cigarette there. So I met with him, and he was the one who gave me the idea that I should not come back from Nathula Pass to Gangtok, rather take the Zuluk route and go straight to Siliguri. So we had a little chat, and then we went on our ways, and I went to Lachung and went off to sleep. The hotel owner where I was staying in Lachung asked me what time, he should wake me up, and I said, don't wake me up at all because I had had a long day. So next morning I woke up in a relaxed way at 9 o'clock. It was really, really cold. I had my breakfast and decided now I'll go for 0 point. So from there I started riding. The first stop was the hot water springs, and I decided, like every other tourist, would go and wet my feet in the hot water spring, which was, I don't know, it was destiny. I usually never do that, but I did that day, and when I came back I saw that the same guy, 786 number, was there at that time. Now that is unusual because people usually go to 0 point really early in the morning, and I was going a little late, so I wasn't really expecting anybody to go at that time. So I met him, and we said hi, had a tea, and he said that why not we go to 0 point together. And then we went to 0 point together, came back and had our breakfast, and and so on. His name was Amit. and it is, I'm saying this because it is unusual, because Sikkim is so big, and I met the same guy 3 times over at 3 different locations. And this is what I like about these solo motorcycle trips. When you're in a group, you sort of go in a group, come back in a group, nothing really big happens. Sure, you enjoy the trip, but when you're solo, there are so many opportunities to meet so many people. Like, for example, I came on a solo ride today to Chincholi, and I met a small group here who have come here for a trek, and they've gone downstairs to the, I don't know whether this is a lake or a river. And we are going to meet again at the motorcycle after a while, and we'll probably go back home together, probably have lunch together. And that's what happens in a solo ride. You have a lot of fun, meeting a lot of people, seeing a lot of places, understanding the culture of the people, because you talk to them and not to your group people. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed the story. There'll be more stories of my rides, of interesting people that I've met, interesting things that I've seen, interesting things that I've learnt about different cultures of Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim and Meghalaya and what have you. Like, subscribe, have fun.